Welcome to the WDW News Today podcast. My name is Eric Morton. With me is my co-host today, none other than Nick LaCicero himself.
I'm back.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Nick. We are here courtesy of our friends at Park Candy who make great shirts. I don't have one on today. I've done this before. Topo Chico, for whatever reason. Whenever I don't have a Park Candy shirt on me to film something, I happen to be wearing the Topo Chico t-shirt that day. It's not an alcoholic Topo Chico, just the regular. I love. Hey, if anybody works for Topo Chico, we can do like taste tests. You want to send it in?
Oh.
Like Reese, the people that work for like Reese's did, that sent us
that
like
was
samples.
crazy.
Yeah. We'll do all the Topo Chicos. I don't know, but anyway, Park Candy makes amazing shirts. They're very comfortable. We also have our own. First of all, Park Candy, if you go to their website, Park Candy, you find anything, you put in the code WDWNT at checkout, you get 15% off of your order. And I'm telling you, they're really, I really do stand by their shirts. I think they're very comfortable, and I like the stretch, and they're light, and you don't have to iron them, and they're just comfortable. And they also made the shirt that we have for the Tip Top Club, right, Nick?
Yes, they did.
They did. And you can get that shirt if you go to WDWNT.shop. There you go.
Right there on the screen.
Or you go to WDWNT.link/tiptop. There's a million ways to get this shirt, Nick.
Scan the code.
I can't believe there's still some left. I feel like we are running late in terms of building out the new podcast studio.
You think?
So we're still here in the back alley. Us and Gertie's protecting. I don't know. There's going to be a new look soon. I apologize. It's taken longer than I thought to get this done.
I like
but
it
at least
here.
Gertie, for now, is protecting us, apparently. She's looking good. Nick loves Gertie. So
the studio is familiar to me, though. This is where I am every Thursday during WDW News Tonight. So I'm very comfortable in here.
Have you heard about what's happening to Gertie at Hollywood Studios?
The tail.
Her tail's wrapped up and ready for some refurb.
The tail is wrapped. Yeah, that's kind of scary.
I had a cat that had a terrible incident with their tail one time where it got caught between a picket fence, like going over a picket. Like my cat got out, jumped over a picket fence, and went over and got their tail stuck in between the pickets.
Oh, no.
Yeah, and that was a bad time. I mean, the cat survived and lived a long and happy life.
Good.
Happy ending, but it was a harrowing
Was
night.
it hanging by its tail?
No.
Oh, just kind of ripped?
Well, briefly it did, and then when I found the cat, it was like injured and
my goodness.
needed help.
That hurts.
And we got her all fixed up, but yeah. So Indy, my old cat.
What do you think goes on inside the tail of Gertie? Like, is that ice cream storage?
I think that's where the coils are.
Yeah.
Where they the cooling coils, where they pumped was it antifreeze? What do they put in there? I don't know.
In ice cream?
No, the to keep things cold, like in a refrigerator, the metal coils.
Freon?
Freon, and not antifreeze, Freon, yeah. You want it to freeze. Yeah,
Well,
Freon.
yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, so
Maybe
that all happens in the tail.
They pump the Freon in at the tip, like the truck just comes with the Freon and
this is
pumps it in, and it goes through the coils and into Gertie, and then the ice cream comes out.
I like to think that's a good story.
It's a good way.
If anyone knows what goes on inside Gertie's tail, let us know.
I could have used some Gertie ice cream today. I had my first ice cream out of Plaza Ice Cream that I thought was not very good.
Yeah.
We've been reviewing the last 2 days all of the new food for the launch of Tiana's Bayou Adventure, which did open today. Today is Friday the 28th. We will not be airing this podcast until Tuesday coming up, but the WIGS are watching live with us. Hello, WIGS. If you want to learn how to be a WIGS member, and they're in the chat now, we can chat with them and find out what nonsense they're up to. If you can learn more about becoming a WIGS member, you can go to patreon.com/WDWNT. For as little as $7 a month, you can watch the show live or just get a preview of it. They can watch it they save it up there on wherever we host our videos for to view it days before we release the podcast, unedited. So if you drop an F-bomb, the WIGS are going to know, and it's going to be saved for posterity.
Oh, my.
Just because it's not on YouTube doesn't mean it doesn't exist somewhere.
So many blippers.
Anyway.
So there was a Tiana ice cream at the plaza?
Yes. So there were, I'll recap real quick. First of all, there were three offerings that are specific to Golden Oak Outposts, right? Plus, there was a lemonade, but that's available at many places. So they had like a hot honey chicken. They had a shrimp gumbo. Both of those had sweet potato fries that were spicy. They were good.
Looks good.
And then they had beignets.
The review said the fries were spicier than the chicken.
They were.
Wow.
That's what I think. Yeah, I think they were good. You read the review already? Yeah, check out our website. And there's a video coming out.
I do some prep.
Yeah. So I thought all of those, everything was good except the beignets were kind of like, they were a little too tough on the outside,
Okay.
you know. And so if you go to Disneyland and you get the like beignets by Pirates of the Caribbean, you know what I'm talking about?
Oh, yeah.
They give them to you in like a sack.
Yeah.
And there's a bunch of powdered sugar and the beignets are in there and you can kind of shake it up and whatever. They're still kind of a mess to eat, right? Beignets, like, there's a lot of powdered sugar involved in this.
Right.
And these came out with like a giant, like Al Pacino and Scarface pile of white powder on top, like a
Really?
huge
Just
mountain. There was no way.
mound?
Even though I tried to like cut the beignet and like eat it with a fork, boom, all over like powdered sugar.
So they
all over my
weren't
shirt.
dusted. They
So
were.
like people were like, "Does Eric have a problem? Is this like a Hunter S. Thompson thing?" Nope, it was just powdered sugar. So there's all that stuff. The lemonade was really good, by the way.
Okay.
And you can find that in a lot of places, like a lavender frozen lemonade thing. And yesterday was about, I don't know, probably 250 degrees out.
Yep.
So it really hit the spot. Then they had the popcorn at the Colonel Kitchen. There were two different offerings. Only a madman would get Colonel Kitchen and eat it right there in Town Square in
So
the
hot.
boiling heat.
Oh, my
and
goodness.
I'm the idiot that did it, Jason Diffendahl and myself. And
What were the flavors?
so one of them was like a kind of a, I wouldn't call it spicy, but like a seasoned, savory type of popcorn. It was like a cheddar Cajun crunch with, I think, like, you know, the little Mickey ear crackers that are really like goldfish. They're basically like Disney goldfish, pretzels, white chocolate, all in. I like that one. And the other one was a more sweet option. It had pecans, pecan pralines. I forget how they referred to them. Dark chocolate, like milk chocolate, M&Ms. You know, the whole thing.
I don't.
That was with caramel popcorn.
I don't love the candy in the popcorn.
I like the big when you get the big M&Ms. I just don't always like it, and I don't like when they drizzle. Like, I love the Colonel Kitchen, right? I said
too.
it in the video, like they're like assassins; they never miss, right?
No, it's
Bang,
so good.
Colonel Kitchen is always good. It's kind of like Taco Bell. Like, you go there and they only have like 7 or 8 ingredients, and then it's just the way that they mix up all those ingredients and they create things that are like this. Right, Taco Bell is just rearranging a few ingredients, and that's kind of how the Colonel Kitchen is. So pretty much all of those are good, and it's just what combination do you put them in?
Gotcha.
And I felt like they were top notch. They were just so messy to eat.
They are.
When
That's
it's
the
really
problem,
hot.
right?
It's a thing. Like, well, I advise people
really
in the
hot.
review video, which will probably drop to maybe tonight. I advise people in that video, like, get this on your way out of the Magic Kingdom, right? Take it back to your hotel or take it home with you because it's just a mess to eat.
Yep.
Now I know why in Japan they have the popcorn tongs. You ever see?
No,
Yeah,
I haven't
so
seen
at
those.
like Tokyo Disneyland, they have little tongs.
No
They're
way.
popcorn. People eat popcorn with tongs. Like, that seems pretty tedious to me, but also like pretty clean.
Now I know what I'm asking Tom for my souvenir. I want popcorn tongs.
Yeah,
I didn't know that existed.
that's a thing.
I
We don't do it here. Look,
No, I would do it here.
I'm gluttonous when I
would do
get
it.
like popcorn, right?
Yeah.
I'm just like shoveling it in my gaping maw like an idiot. But hey, I could try it. I'll try it with the How long would it take you to eat like a large bucket of popcorn?
See, in America, I think we'd have a popcorn shovel, like a little mini shovel that we.
Like a spoon?
But the
Make
shovel
it a shovel.
sounds better.
Make it look like a snow shovel.
Yeah, there you go. Just shovel that popcorn into my mouth.
So that was yesterday.
Yeah.
Then today was opening day of the attraction. Some of the food came out a couple days ahead of time, right? Actually, I didn't tell you. Shrimp gumbo,
Delicious?
great.
Really?
I thought it was
Okay.
great.
All right.
It was weird because, like, usually you get gumbo, and like, a lot of people have different ways they serve gumbo. Sometimes it's kind of like a gravy on rice, or sometimes it's in a bowl and it's more like a stew. I'm sure that people that are from Louisiana can tell me what the most authentic way to serve gumbo is. I'm not really sure, but it's always delicious.
Is there rice in this one?
I didn't see
because
any
it's
rice.
the fries. The fries probably take the
because they
place
had the
of
sweet potato fries,
Yeah.
and they you can kind of put the way it was described was as if they were going to put the gumbo on top of the fries, so it'd be like a weird gumbo poutine type of thing, which they do have they kind of have that at Scat Cats, right?
Oh yeah, yeah.
But no, I thought it was really good though. No rice, just sweet potato fries, and this gumbo had sausage, andouille sausage, and shrimp, and I thought it was delicious. Then today they had a bunch of more stuff, but most of the stuff today was prepackaged. So we had like some kind of snack mix, a couple different kinds of snack mixes that were kind of what you would expect. One was kind of like a bar mix. Right. One. Then they had popcorn, and the popcorn, I was like, whatever. You get the Figment popcorn bucket, and they have the colored popcorn, and it's just kind of like usually not great. This was like different color popcorn. It looked like kind of Mardi Gras colors, and it was delicious.
Wow.
They had the purple was blackberry.
They're doing great things with popcorn.
Green was green apple, and the yellow was lemon. And it was really good.
Ever since, what is it called, Cat Sakas or whatever at Galaxy's Edge, ever since we got that, Disney World has really, I think, stepped up its flavored popcorn game.
Disneyland had provided, look, if you've watched the video, you've already heard me say this. Disneyland had this popcorn they did for Rogers the Musical at Disney California Adventure. It was just awful. Just repulsive red, white, and blue popcorn. It tasted awful.
Yeah.
But this
is good.
This is really good. There was a chocolate bar that's a Bananas Foster chocolate bar. A must get.
Really? Just like a candy bar?
Yeah, but it's like you open the chocolate bar and you smell the bananas. Like you're like, I mean, it's fake. But
where do you get these things?
Right now they're at the Emporium.
Okay.
But I think after the ride has kind of gotten into its paces and they're done with like the initial surge of like grand opening of the ride, it's going to be probably at Critter Co-op, which is the store that the old Briar Patch, right? So, so we ate a bunch of that prepackaged stuff today. Then we went. They had a peach cobbler at Pinocchio Village House. Terrible. Then we tested out the Mama Odie's hot sauce. I love it.
I was gonna say, did you open the barbecue sauce? So that's the bottled barbecue sauce.
It's not barbecue sauce. It's like hot sauce.
Hot sauce. Sorry.
Yeah, we opened one, and we put it on the bland chicken strips at Pinocchio Village House. Perfect.
Really?
Yeah.
What's the spice level on that?
On a scale of 1 to 10, 6.5, 7.
Okay, not bad.
I mean, there's also still like this scale for that too. But for a theme park, like hot sauce, it's pretty hot.
Nice.
It's not like going to be on Hot Ones. Where they're eating things that are 10 billion Scoville units or whatever. So then we go to Plaza Ice Cream. No, we went to Plaza Restaurant.
For some of the hot sauce on the ice cream?
I don't know how many times I've been to Magic Kingdom in my life. Hundreds. I've never set foot inside Plaza Restaurant.
Ever?
Ever.
Okay. Been there a few times.
Went in there. We got the Chantilly cake. Tiana's Chantilly cake. It's supposed to have fresh strawberries on it.
Yeah.
And the picture is hilarious. I don't know if Billy can pull this from the website. The picture of the Chantilly cake is literally like there's a corner when we section the cake open. There was no strawberry, and then we cut more into it, and we found like a corner in the bottom corner of strawberry that's like literally this big, but delicious cake.
Okay,
delicious cake. And then we finished with the ice cream, and the ice cream.
Glowing review.
Ice cream was not a star to me. I'm not a butter pecan ice cream person, I think. And,
that would be good.
And I just think it was kind of like average, maybe slightly below average.
I'm going to drizzle some of the hot sauce on the popcorn.
It's not a terrible idea.
No.
I should have had if I had the hot sauce yesterday, I would have put it on the gumbo.
Do we have the hot sauce here?
No, I think it's in Jason's car.
Okay.
But you can go buy it at the Magic Kingdom. I think it's really good.
Try it.
They also have a lot of stuff from Dookie Chase's restaurant because Leah Chase, who was Dookie's wife, is sort of the inspiration for Tiana herself. And their family has operated this restaurant for years and years in New Orleans. She's passed away, but they have some family recipe stuff. And they serve some of it at the media event. Is great. And they have some of their seasoning and stuff like that available too. And cookbooks. Okay. And you'll like it I know you like to cook and do all these things. There's stuff for you in there.
Yeah.
You'll dig it.
That's
We
awesome.
rode the ride, and I have to say, as tired as people are getting of content about Tiana's Bayou Adventure, I'd say today everything worked.
Yeah.
Like, one criticism has been either the ride is down all the time or that the animatronics don't work or whatever. I saw everything work. One exception is like the old laughing place when you go down and they shoot the water over the flume track. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
That didn't work when we went under it, but I looked back after us and the log behind us, it worked for them too. So our log did not trigger that effect, but it did work. So everything,
Okay.
as far as I know, everything was basically working today. And,
Yeah.
and we all had a good time.
Nice.
We got the group photo. We wanted to get all kind of our content team all in one photo, so we filled a whole log with all of us.
Yeah.
And then Nana goes, okay, everybody, you're going to have your sunglasses on, and you're going to be holding your phone like you're
Like you're
vlogging
yeah.
or whatever. And I hold my phone, but I wanted to hold it with 2 fingers, and then I had 5 fingers for 7. For our 7. But when the picture came out, you can't see this hand, so it just looks like I'm holding out like 5. Like,
oops.
Jake or Billy or somebody can add that photo in at some
Yeah.
point so you can see it. It was pretty funny. Just like, why does Eric have 5 there in the back of the log? I don't know.
I don't know.
But anyway, all that is done now.
Yeah.
I think it was exciting,
great.
and it was not crowded today.
No?
No.
Oh.
It was not crowded in the least.
Because
I would say.
everybody kind of did it,
Well, I
right?
think that the locals have done it. The other people are going to come do it. They know it's there for them. And I'm sure maybe it's possible that even I think park passes were not available. But I didn't see a lot of people. And the parking lot was when Jake can say on the microphone, Jake dropped me off at my car because it was raining when we left. And I would say the Scar lot was full. I'm sorry, the Zerg lot was full. The Scar lot was like maybe half full. Whatever lot Jake was in was like reasonably full. Like, these are all the front lots, and I was in Peter Pan, which is on the other side of that like mountain. So when they parked me there, I'm like, oh, it's going to be a really busy day. And then when I drove to leave, I'm like, oh, there's nobody in Simba. There's no.
Wow.
I can see all the way to like off to my left as I'm leaving, where they're storing the trams and all that stuff. I can see all the way to the street that goes alongside there. No car, nobody.
Yeah.
So while the park passes were gone today, when I left at 1 o'clock, it was not at all close to full. So I don't know. Maybe this weekend it's gonna be hopping.
Well, I mean, you have 4th of July. Yeah, it's going to get busy.
I want to talk about that.
What's up?
4th of July.
Yeah.
At Disney.
Yeah, my favorite.
Traditions. It's the best and worst, right? It's so hot.
I enjoy it. I thoroughly enjoy it because it's one of the things I look forward to every single year. So I know a lot of people who come with me that complain, and there's people that don't last the whole day. I love to do a whole day there. Usually my tradition more recently, it's always Epcot on the 4th itself. Usually on the 3rd, I go see I like watching the Magic Kingdom 4th of July fireworks from a resort, usually the Polynesian.
Yeah, they crack down on that a lot.
I know they have.
Not as much as they do on New Year's.
I know. It's been harder and harder to get over there. But you know, if I a lot of times I'll go to the Magic Kingdom on the 3rd, so I'll go there. But I like watching the fireworks from outside the park, the 4th of July ones, because you get that big kind of panoramic view. So I love doing that, and that's kind of usually what I'll do. So I'll get my little Captain Cook's nachos and go. Stand on the beach and watch the fireworks. That's a great night for me, and I think that's one of my favorite fireworks. I put them above the New Year's. I like them a little better than the New Year's.
I think I agree with you. It's great, and yes, living close to the park, it's nice to be able to just step out in my driveway and watch this.
I also just like the summer feel of the 4th of July fireworks over the wintry New Year's fireworks.
No, I totally agree with you. There's something special about it, right? 4th of July and fireworks are kind of like, I mean, New Year's Eve has become that thing, but 4th of July, and the rockets' red glare and all that kind of stuff, you're like, oh, yeah, like this is kind of like they're just being almost literal with the song.
Right.
That I think it's great. But I think for fireworks, I always go to Epcot for 4th of July.
Yep.
That my tradition is all day at Epcot.
Yep,
Now,
same.
we've done it before where we went to Hollywood Studios and then moved to Epcot or something like that. I typically don't go to Magic Kingdom on 4th of July. I remember a few years ago, though, we went to Hollywood Studios. Let's just say this is 2019. It was oppressively hot. I think it was 2019. It might have been 2018. Oppressively hot. We go to Tower of Terror. Like half of the ride is down. So it's the longest line I've ever been in for Tower of Terror, and we're outside. The misters are not on. The sun is beating down on us, and I look around and everybody's as miserable as I can possibly describe. But then to go to Epcot, and yes, it's hot, it's crowded. Some people are into different things. Some people are they want to see Mickey and Minnie in their colonial attire. That's a big thing.
Mm-hmm.
Me, I don't think there's any entertainment that you will experience in a theme park that is better or more, that touches you more than the Voices of Liberty on the 4th of July.
4th of July.
I think if you catch them when they do the Battle Hymn of the Republic and all the Voices of Liberty that you don't see performing step forward to the balcony overlooking that area.
Yeah, that's magic.
If that doesn't make you get chills or a lump in your throat or something, like go to the doctor and get your health checked out, because it is really touching and interesting.
I agree with you about Epcot on the 4th itself, though. It is for me, it's a much better experience than the Magic Kingdom.
Yeah.
You have you could really, I think Epcot, if you're going to spend a whole day at a park, like before noon to close after fireworks, like, and you're just kind of like hanging out there to have your spot for the end of the day, like Epcot's just a better place to just hang out too, because there's more options to kind of be inside and relax, go have some food, go have some drinks, and then experiencing obviously the American Adventure, the Voices of Liberty.
Right.
And you really can't beat that.
No, and I think one part that makes it nice is you can camp out for a good spot for fireworks if you want to at Epcot.
Yeah.
And it's a lot more low stress than trying to camp for a good spot at Magic Kingdom
100%.
because good views are all around Epcot, where Magic Kingdom is concentrated 100%. To this sort of limited area. I will also say that the Heartbeat of Freedom tag that they put on their 4th of July fireworks is
mind-blowing.
It's not like if you watch it on TV, you'd be like, oh, it's a lot of stuff blowing up, whatever. But to be there and feel it, and usually in the past, I have stood there waiting, and you'll hear the Magic Kingdom fireworks in the distance.
Yeah.
You might even hear something from Hollywood Studios. Yeah. And then you almost hear Epcot say, that was cute. Watch this.
Yeah.
So they put that tag, this will be the first time they put the tag on the end of Luminous. Right? They put that tag on, and it's playing like John Philip Sousa music, like patriotic tunes. And then by the end, there's so many explosions going on at the same time that for a good 30 seconds, you can scream at the top of your lungs if you want to and not hear yourself.
It's a complete whiteout. Everything just lights up, and it is the brightest white light you have ever seen, and it's right above your head, and nothing can compare to that. Like the Magic Kingdom cannot come close to comparing to that.
No, the Magic Kingdom. I went to their fireworks for I think on the 3rd last year.
Yeah,
and one of our friends happened to be in a private area where they were able to get us in. They had a VIP tour guide that helped get us in there, and it was wonderful. It was a great, it's a well-executed show.
It is.
But there's something about that Epcot tag is not long. It's only a few minutes long.
Yeah.
But that 30-second intense, just explosions everywhere, and you can't hear anything is amazing. And everyone, I think, should experience that. Unless you're there are people that are triggered by stuff like that don't want to. That don't like those big explosions. Sure. But I'm telling you, that is something else. It's awe-inspiring, and you leave there like, wow, that was cool.
And one tip, although you can watch it from anywhere, have a place where you can also view USA because they do the fireworks behind the USA Pavilion too for a while, and like to get in the full experience like that. Yeah, it's amazing. And then lighting up now, they have those awesome lights on Spaceship Earth, and they light it up like the American flag. That's absolutely gorgeous. I spend all day there, and the characters, that's my thing. I have to get all my photos. So I have photos every single year with those characters. I'm always disappointed if Donald's not one of them, because sometimes you miss certain ones because they swap. Like, you always get Mickey, and then I think they kind of swap out some of the other ones that you might sometimes not get. And then you have Chip and Dale. It is so good, and the line is insane, but I have to do it every single time. And it's so hot, and it's so miserable, but it's so great.
One of my favorite photos, I'll share this, I don't think anyone will mind, was, I think, Axel and his wife, our friend Axel, who some of you have seen, who used to be on some of our programming. He's still around. He's still our friend. Jill, my girlfriend Lee, a few other people, and we all got this picture taken inside the American Adventure that had little props for you to hold.
Yeah,
they were all there, and it's one of my favorite photos. And I'm not big on photos, but I love that one.
Yeah.
And in general, Epcot during the 4th, I have a billion criticisms of Epcot. Right? There's all kinds of stuff that people are upset about with Epcot, or that don't like. All kinds of changes they don't like and all that kind of stuff. But they do the 4th of July right, and I'm going to love walking out of there through the new garden and all that kind of stuff on the exit. I think that's going to be fun, and I think that it's going to be an indelible memory. I like when you go to the parks as much as we do, some of these things all run together and you don't remember them, or you remember them as sort of just a big kind of blurry memory. But the 4th of July, I always remember. So.
Yeah, same. I look forward to it so much every year, and it's a 2-day thing for me because, like I said, I usually spend most of the late afternoon, evening doing the 3rd, and then all day on the 4th, all day. Yeah. It's so exhausting at the end, and some of my friends are like, "Yeah, we'll meet up with you halfway through," and stuff like that. So, where do you like to watch from? Where's your favorite spot?
That has changed over the years. I like to try all the different spots.
Okay.
My old favorite spot used to be in Canada. You could get right down by the water, a little bit to the right of where the boat dock is, the Friendship dock, like where that's not in your way. You get down far enough towards the UK in Canada. Down there's some kind of bushes, and you get up. There's an area like in front of them that I think is a really good spot. I have some secrets that I won't share.
I know. I almost don't want to reveal mine.
Right.
Right? Because I don't know. I will say that I don't fight for. I do the same spot every single year, and I don't fight for a spot near the railing or up front. Like, I don't park myself there for hours and get any kind of spot. Where I go is a spot that you could hang back on the other side of the walkway, like almost in the country.
Yeah. And
if you hold your spot there, usually there's no one standing in front of me because, and most people are crowding up towards the railing, and you kind of hold a line back there. And then cast members have to leave a walkway, so usually I could pick a spot where there's no one in front of me. But yeah, it's definitely a spot with a big open sky. You could see America from there. And it's absolutely wonderful.
I don't like to go to the spot like in the dead center looking straight at the America Pavilion, because number one, you get in there and inevitably more people show up, and next thing you know, you're very crowded and cramped in there. Most of the rest of Epcot, if you're like on the railing or you want to be where you were, you can people respect your space just a little bit more, and you don't have to get as condensed. And I feel like, so if I want to sit there, sometimes I've sat in Canada for 2 hours or something like that one time for the fireworks, but I think even if you don't, you get your spot, and people aren't trying to like, okay, everybody, squish together so that more people can fit in here. It's not as common as it is right there in the front of World Showcase.
Do you have a different spot for this one than you did for like Illuminations? Because I do.
Yes.
This one,
Yeah.
I have a very specific spot because I want that USA look. When I was like for Illuminations, I always loved Italy or Germany for some reason. I always loved to watch it from there.
No, and I think Germany's a good spot, and you can kind of see what's going on in American Adventure if you know what to look for, and it's kind of it also kind of takes people by surprise right there.
It does.
Like, oh,
Yeah.
It's kind of fun.
Yeah.
One year we were in Germany. I don't even want to tell this. Well, I'll tell it. I think we were in one of those areas where there's like a miniature peninsula that sticks out a little bit, and there happened to be a picnic table on that little thing one day, kind of where they might have private parties sometimes. And so there's a group of people at those picnic tables, and we are right behind them, but they're sitting at picnic tables, so we still have a good view, right? We are right behind them. There's a woman who's clearly, there's a woman who's clearly disabled in an ECV there, sitting there. I don't know her, but she's near us, and our direct line of sight is over the picnic table where the people are sitting, but we have a perfect view. The fireworks start, and a few of them stand up. I'm like, okay, well, kind of inconsiderate because they know there's all these people right here, but also they've been here, whatever. And then one of the women stands on the picnic table.
Come on.
Holding her iPad up in the air, taking video of the whole thing. And the whole crowd, and blocking my view and my group's view a little bit, but primarily blocking the view of this woman who's seated in an ECV because she can't stand up. And the whole crowd is yelling at this woman. She's spinning around with her iPad showing the crowd as she's taking video and stuff. And I think her home video, if she watched it, she might see a few gestures her way that she doesn't like. Not from me, but I certainly saw some.
I've asked people to get down sometimes, like in situations similar. I'm not afraid to do that because I want to enjoy the experience.
I have seen I've seen that incident, and I saw another incident of two people arguing over a spot, kind of where that parasol thing is was in France, and there's those things along the wall. So if you kind of go on the water in France, kind of behind some of the where the Grand Marnier slushies are and the kiosks, there are these bump outs sort of along the wall, and people were taking those, right? And then it's pretty early and there's plenty of space, and I saw two people arguing over a spot. And I'm like, guys, the show takes place up in the sky. And you both have a very clear view of that from here. Like, what are we fighting about?
I think
though these were not drunk people, for the people that are going to flood our comments saying all Disney problems are related to alcohol.
Part of the problem, it's not really a problem, but part of the situation with the Epcot nighttime shows is people that are not familiar with it don't necessarily know which direction they're supposed to look. I mean, it's very obvious at Magic Kingdom, get a spot and stare at the castle. Like everybody knows that. At Epcot, it's like, all right, well, am I going to see this? Where's it going to happen? What's it going to do? So I think you get a little bit of that, especially on very crowded nights like that. People don't really even know what they're supposed to be looking at or where they're going to be looking. I will say that Canada, you mentioned Canada, is one of my least favorite places to ever watch a show at Epcot. It always has been. For some reason, I don't like watching it from that angle.
There are like a couple spots, I think, in Canada that are good where you kind of angle the different one. I know what you're saying. I know exactly what you're getting at. But there's a couple spots there that are good. I've watched it all. I've watched the Heartbeat of Freedom from most of the countries.
Yeah.
Right. I think one of my most memorable ones was near the bridge to Mexico, and we were watching it from that area one day, and then lightning. This is probably 2018, 2019, lightning storm. Right before it was supposed to go. So everybody goes inside, and then it clears everybody. And then and then I got up and got a pretty good spot.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that's good. Some of these people left. The show started late, but it was, in general, I think, something people should experience. I want to talk about Epcot real quick because we did have a lot of comments about alcohol. Many of the comments, long before anybody possibly could have even gotten to the part of the podcast where we talked about is alcohol a problem, many of them within the first 5 minutes of release of the podcast arguing about alcohol and liquor. But we did also tell people that we would send them pick someone to send a Stage 89 Magna to. And all I had to say in the comments was, I love Nick. So I did a randomizer.
Yeah.
And I selected our lucky winner. Ooh. And the lucky winner is Envy Vine, who said, I love Nick and Eric.
Aww.
I did not pick that comment just because it included me.
I think you did.
Yeah. No,
I think you did. You were jealous.
Random number generator, I promise.
Uh-huh.
So, Envy Vine, if you want to send me an email at eric@wdwnt.com with your address, shipping instructions, we will send you a Stage 89 magnet.
All right.
And I'll even have Nick, like, you want to kiss it? Blow a kiss onto the magnet?
I will kiss the magnet.
Will you autograph one?
I sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or we'll autograph an index card.
We should autograph it together because she loves you too.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
We'll do something. We'll send you a magnet.
All right.
I promise.
Cool.
All right. So aside from 4th of July, we're going to get through that. And there's a whole summer of stuff going on.
Summer of stuff. That's how Disney's marketing it, right?
Summer. That's how I would market it. They should hire us. Can you imagine if Disney hired us to handle their marketing? Summer of stuff.
Yeah. I can just see it now.
I'm very excited. You know what we don't have a date for?
SOS.
SOS. Help us. Summer of stuff.
Help.
Have you noticed I've been sending secret messages when I host News Today? I have that the little vinyl dumpster fire on there that says, "This is fine."
Yeah.
That's my little subtle cry for help. It's like my SOS, summer of stuff.
Yes. It's a little subliminal message.
They have not yet announced the opening date of Country Bear Jamboree, right?
Right.
Are you excited or are you scared?
Oh, I'm very excited. Yeah. I can't wait to see what they do. We're keeping the Bears, so that's good. I can't wait to see what they do. I'm pretty pumped about it. I was in the camp that it needed a refresh. I don't think they could go too off the rails with it. I think it'll be fun.
I think it sounds good.
Yeah,
like Tom was like a little nonplussed by the idea of Trixie singing "Try Everything." He's like, that's not what Trixie's personality is.
Oh, I heard him. Yeah, I heard him complain about that. The song, something. Yeah, you need to fit their personality and still have the charm and the humor and things like that, and not them just singing these songs. I don't know. That's reading a lot into this.
I'm ready for a big surprise because I haven't done anything about what Big Al's going to do.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
I'm ready to be big time surprised of whatever Big Al ends
I hope
singing.
they don't leak too much out.
No.
Because I want to be surprised in that first show.
So that's the thing about this job, Nick. I know. You don't get to be surprised very often because by the time something opens, by the time Tiana, if you follow this closely or if you cover it as your job, by the time Tiana's Bayou Adventure opens, we already know the ride track, right? You've seen the video of all the animatronics. They've released what the song is the guy's going to play. So basically, you're just going there to experience the whole thing, and there's no real big surprises. There's no big reveal. The same is true for any number of openings that we've experienced.
I mean, the food is the biggest kind of surprise. I mean, I guess you even know what that lineup is, but at least you get to taste it and be surprised that way.
Oh, it was miserable. Let me explain. Because I was reviewing food with Jason. And Jason,
no, just kidding.
Jason did not want to review prepackaged food, right? I get it. What's the return, right? Are we making we are a business at the end of the day? Is our audience reading articles about what we thought about prepackaged popcorn and all this stuff? So he shows up and he's just surly, and he's just like. And I know what's happening. I know what's coming. I'm like, what's coming is that it's going to be Jason going, the popcorn tastes like popcorn. The snozberries, taste like snot. Whatever. He's going to just say, hey, this does taste like popcorn. All right. You're right, Eric. Oh, what are these buttered toffee nuts going to taste like? I bet they're going to taste like nuts with butter and toffee on them, right? Yeah. I was like, what if they surprise you though, Jason? What if it's like Violet Beauregard and you're like, mashed potatoes and gravy, I don't know. So,
oh no.
So the value then is maybe people will watch it if we can at least make it fun. Mm-hmm. That's the thing, right?
Sure.
I've done food reviews before where people have commented that I look like I was cranky or whatever. Yeah. That time when Tom and I reviewed all the food at San Francisco Square, got on a plane and without sleeping and went to rope dropped Epcot to do festival food. Yeah, I was a little not wanting to be there.
I get it.
I think there is an idea out there that, oh, you're just you're getting like free food, and we pay, the company pays for the food, but I don't.
Yeah.
Right? Out of my pocket. It's out of Tom and Jason's pocket.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why he was cranky, because it was his pocket and Tom's pocket. But, you know, there's this idea that, like, oh, you get to do all this stuff, but it's not always easy, right? You've done food reviews with me before when you're at Epcot and you're like 20 dishes in on a festival, and you're
what am I supposed to say about this?
Only 30 more things.
Yeah, in the heat.
And you're having to make a judgment. And look, I'm not a culinary expert. I either like something or I don't. And you're going to maybe like something I don't like. So what do I come up with to say to someone who's interested in the food that's going to, you know, set this apart for them? And that's the challenge, right? So I tend to just give a natural reaction, not try to be a foodie about it, because I'm not a foodie. I'm a regular person eating food at a theme park like a regular guest is going to eat it.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to like some things, and I'm not going to like some things, and you're going to like some things, and you're not going to like some things. Jason and I were fairly close in our assessment of the Tiana's stuff. But again, has there ever been an instance when someone's like, Eric, I need you to go review the food? And I'm like, oh boy, I can't wait. Yeah. No, it's always like, it's that you hate reviewing food because, number one, can be physically difficult depending on what type of food you're eating, how much, and how your body feels.
Sure.
And number two, there's always somebody in the comments that's tearing apart your comments of like what something's supposed to taste like, or what, you know. I'm just eating something that someone offers at a theme park. I'm not trying to validate the authenticity of a preparation of something.
Yeah.
I try not to. There's times when you eat stuff that you're like, this is decidedly inauthentic.
Well, you have to, a little bit. You have to throw that kind of
but I'm not
judgment in there.
Like I talk about gumbo. I'm not here to tell someone from Louisiana how gumbo is supposed to taste. I'm just saying whatever they threw together that they're calling gumbo tasted pretty good.
All right, fair.
But there are foods that people from different regions get really touchy about.
Yeah.
Whether people argue about what constitutes chili or not, depending on the presence of beans or all that stuff, or whether or not Cincinnati chili counts as chili, which my vote is no.
I love Cincinnati chili. I just made a big pot the other day.
I mean, it's spaghetti. But I'm not snobby about it. It's just like what I think of chili, what I grew up eating is chili, and what someone from maybe Texas would say was chili is just not. Sure. They're not expecting spaghetti, right?
No, I don't do it over pasta.
Right.
I just like that flavor of chili.
The cinnamon taste. Yeah, I get that. And people like that, and they grow up with certain things that they like. Obviously, probably the biggest debate out there is like pizza in New York and Chicago, where like I'm a New York pizza person. Yeah, so I love Chicago deep dish. I just don't compare it to other pizza I've had because it doesn't check the boxes for me of what pizza is, even though it checks box. You know what I mean? Put it in its own category. How do I compare Chicago pizza to New York pizza? That is like comparing a car to an SUV. They're completely, you know, they're different but the same. Yeah. I don't know how to do this. You know, all the barbecue of different regions of the country are the same thing, right? Yeah. I would say Texas barbecue and Kansas City barbecue have their differences, but they are more similar to one another than they are to like North Carolina barbecue or Memphis barbecue. And look, I can go to those places and have a great time eating their barbecue and think, man, this isn't like what I call barbecue where I'm from.
Well, I think you have to, when reviewing food, you have to go on a couple different angles. Are they achieving what they set out to achieve? And then is this worth your money? Is it actually good? You know what I mean? And then what are kind of the flavors in there? So you have to be a little bit subjective and objective, I think. You have to be a little bit of both to give a good review.
I have a big problem with a lot of things happening with Disney food right now, which is...
What does that mean?
Someone in the culinary department is intentionally targeting the things that people like the most and getting rid of them.
They are.
There is an assassin amongst us that is taking out mostly the things that people like. And I think it's to put their own mark.
I think so. That's what I've heard. That's the reasoning I've heard. I've heard that when you get a new person in there, They want to make their mark, and they don't regard what people like or don't like, because I think they come from the idea that people are going to come here either way. We're going to sell the food, and I can make a new favorite that everybody is raving about.
Right. And then I can brag about that to my friends and family.
Because if I keep Nick's loaded tater tots on the menu, that's all he's going to ever order when he comes in, even though this other stuff that I want to put on the menu is really good. The only way I could get Nick to order this other stuff is to take away his tater tots. Then he's forced to order something else, and then he's going to rave about my dish.
So we've talked about this.
That's the thinking.
We've talked about it on the podcast.
I'm on to them. I know.
But we had two major ones this week.
Which ones?
Number one, Sleepy Hollow. What's the number one thing you think about at Sleepy Hollow?
I just had,
What's the number one food you think about at Sleepy Hollow?
the spicy chicken waffle sandwich.
Right.
I literally just had that a week and a half ago. Is it gone?
So there is, they have gotten rid of the Nutella version of the waffle at Sleepy Hollow, the fruit Nutella one. The chicken, I believe they've changed it.
It tasted fine. Like,
this was on Tuesday?
okay.
Something like that?
Like this week, Tuesday.
Yeah.
So I had it 2 weeks ago, I believe.
Yeah. The waffles are what people think about there. Some of them, the chicken or spicy chicken, but in general, the waffle.
No, I had it on Sunday when I was there at the Magic Kingdom. Yeah, after I went there after the water park. Literally just had it.
And then,
so it's still there. You think it's changed?
It is. Let me pull up our article.
I need to know
Billy,
this. This is important.
I need you to edit this.
This is important. This may be the most important thing we've ever talked about on this podcast.
Let me read to you an article from this week. For those that don't follow our site closely.
Don't do this to me. Don't do this to me.
Sleepy Hollow at Magic Kingdom has an updated menu, including new Mickey waffle dishes and a new funnel cake with Nutella. Sleepy Hollow refreshments is here and there. The quick service location has switched from separate breakfast and lunch dinner menu items to one all-day menu. Gone is the fresh fruit waffle sandwich with chocolate hazelnut spread, Nutella. It's been replaced by Mickey waffle with chocolate hazelnut spread and bananas. Also new is funnel cake with chocolate hazelnut spread, bananas, and whipped cream. The sweet and spicy chicken waffle sandwich has also been replaced with the Mickey waffle with sweet and spicy maple chicken.
Okay.
So gone. What you loved is gone.
Well, no, okay.
It has a replacement that is similar, maybe, but it is.
But it's a Mickey waffle, so now it's just like sitting on top
instead of no longer like that folded sandwich.
It has parsley flakes instead of the arugula. Give me that.
Don't hurt my phone. If you throw my phone, I don't have the insurance.
That could still be good, but I loved that thin waffle that made the little taco-y thing, and then the arugula in there.
What is a thing? And this is funny because it's like they follow Tom Corliss around. He and I went to Columbia Harbor House recently, and he remarked, I hope they never get rid of this thing. What item at Columbia Harbor House would you say is untouchable?
Columbia Harbor House. I very rarely go in there. What is the main item? Is it a dessert?
What's something that comes with almost all their entrees? Hush puppies.
Oh, the hush puppies.
Gone. Dead.
Really?
Yeah.
That's weird.
Someone's just going around picking things people like and sniping them.
They used to have great hush puppies at Scat Cats.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't think those are there anymore.
I don't know. But I mean,
oh my
look,
goodness.
Change is inevitable. Change is part of growth.
But
they're not changing the things people don't like. They're changing the things people do like. The ham and cheese bocadillo, I will never forgive them for that.
Yeah.
I would be driving home on like a Friday or something, or maybe on a Saturday. I go, you know what? I'm going to call Lee, and I'm going to say, let's go to Dahlia Lounge. Let's rally our friends. Let's go to Dahlia. You know why I wanted to go to Dahlia? Because I'm hungry for the ham and cheese bocadillo. Gone. Killed it. Boom. I talked to servers there that said that was the number one thing that almost every group got.
Yeah.
And someone else said, not on my watch. Someone said, you know what? My rival, the old dude that used to be here in this position, he created that sandwich. I'm erasing his mark from this resort. Obviously, Geyser Point.
Mm-hmm. That's a big one.
Cheesy brisket.
Why?
Yeah.
Why? Everything is going. It is crazy.
And you can say like, oh, it's food costs or it's supply line or any other BS reasons.
Still a
but
chicken waffle.
You can still raise the price if that's the problem. No, it's someone wanting to make their mark.
Yeah.
There is a vandal in the culinary group at Disney, and we need to get to the bottom of this.
But
there's a psychopath running around and butchering the things that you love in the theme park.
What mark is that making? You're taking the same thing. It's not even like they got rid of it technically. They just changed it. Like, why would you? Like, what good is that? Like, what do you think? Why are you bringing? The other thing was easy to eat because you folded it over. This one now you need to like cut up and do all kinds of things.
I only worked in the food industry a couple times. Once when I was in boot camp, every platoon has to spend a week working in the chow hall.
Really? All right.
So I did this for a week, and then my first ever like W-2 job was at Rack's Roast Beef, which is kind of like if you know, you know. If you're in the '80s, you know about Rack's Roast Beef, right? But like, so I don't know what goes on operationally, if these are to streamline operations to make it easier for people, or if this is just to go, you know what, we haven't refreshed this menu in a while. Let me go in and just kill the stuff that's selling.
It's possible that is a streamlining thing because it's like, why are we making two different kinds of waffles when we're already making the Mickey waffle?
Right.
Why not just use the Mickey waffle with this chicken?
Who knows? If you're a food expert out there, like you've worked in this industry for a while, maybe you can shed some light on this. Maybe the operations of that place is too inefficient. I never seem to have to wait too long to get a waffle there.
You know what? We should come up with a good game. We should come up with like 20 of the most popular food items at Disney World.
And make a bingo card when you get rid of them.
Yeah.
We're doing it.
That would be amazing.
But the thing is, can we fill a bingo card with the favorites that are left? Probably.
I think we can. And we can't include things. We know they're not getting rid of like the Mickey waffle or the Mickey ice cream bar. So I'm not talking about that stuff. We're talking about like quick service or sit down restaurant stuff.
Disney owned.
Like, yeah.
Not like Disney Springs.
Right.
Like, oh, I really love that thing at this restaurant.
Yeah.
But
yeah. All right, we need to do that.
Let's do that.
Yeah.
Give us your ideas, please, in the comments.
Yeah.
Let's put together the bingo cards, and then we'll actually play bingo.
How many things are on the bingo card? Is it like 15? 5 by 5?
Yeah, something like that. Well, yeah, that'd be 25. 5 by 5, right? I'm no mathematician, Nick.
Sure.
Something like that. We'll give them a free space in the middle.
All right.
And we'll do that. I'm curious, and I want to know. I want to know what's happening with this because I think, unfortunately, it's a big deal to a lot of people.
Yeah, we already have a kind of a pre-made list with the because we did the food for the 64 tournament, the March Madness tournament. I think like one of the simple things, like I think the lumpia at Pandora tastes much different now than they did in year one. Like, I think the quality of that went down, like they're using lesser ingredients. So there are some things that just kind of changed and I think they make them differently now for some reason.
Is there other good lumpia on property somewhere?
Not that I know of.
So I had never had lumpia growing up.
Yeah.
And then when I was stationed in Guantanamo Bay, Cuba. And one thing people don't know about Guantanamo Bay, they know like the movie A Few Good Men, right? What you don't know is that the civilian employees, at least when I was there in the 90s, the civilian employees are Jamaican or Filipino. Largely the Filipino workers were things like they'd fix the air conditioner, like operational maintenance type of stuff, and the Jamaican nationals were primarily operating like restaurants, bars, all that kind of stuff. But a large number of the employees were from either the Philippines or Jamaica in Guantanamo. The U.S. government hired them. And I had heard, I don't know if this is true, but basically that due to some kind of legal reason that the Filipinos were not allowed to live on the base. So they lived on a barge that was moored at the base. They had like built a big floating apartment complex, and they would live. Okay. I don't know if that's true. It doesn't matter to this story. There was a place called Post 46, which was near the Marine Barracks. So because this thing operated on Marine Hill next to where near Marine Barracks, we would get food from there a lot. Terrible pizza. I mean, the worst pizza you've ever had in your life. Worse than Pinocchio Village House, perhaps. Maybe even as bad as Pizza Rizzo.
Wow.
But because I guess they had also like Filipino workers, they had lumpia there. They were lumpia sticks. So they were like kind of rolled in a, it was like lumpia rolled in a little, shell. And you just eat them like you would eat, taquitos out of 7-Eleven or something like that, right?
Yeah.
And they were amazing. And I became addicted to lumpia sticks. This is back when I weighed like 174 pounds and I ran, the Marine Corps diet, which is like eat whatever you want, drink whatever you want, run 8 miles a day. That was kind of back then.
Yeah.
But I had never had them until then. So I'm searching for something to remind me of that.
Wow. Okay.
Lumpia sticks.
Yeah.
If you find any lumpia sticks, you let me know.
All right.
Sorry for the aside there.
That's all
so
good.
So Pandora's Lumpia's no longer.
I would say, some things change like that. But luckily, they're still there, right? And sometimes you'll get a good batch, sometimes you won't. But there are a lot of things. I know there's definitely a lot of things we could put on this list.
What's untouchable? What are the things that you don't see a scenario where they would get rid of? Mickey Bar.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's Dole Whip, Mickey Bar, all that stuff. But as far as the non iconic stuff, right? I think I never remember the name of it, but at Liberty Tree Tavern, that cookie dessert, the big
the skillet.
Ooey gooey. Oh wait, how did I forget
ooey gooey toffee?
Gooey,
yeah, say it. Look, you're a single man. You're trying to find a lady out there. Let them hear you.
Ooey gooey toffee cake.
There you go.
Yeah,
that's
how you gotta say it.
That's good. They're not getting rid of that.
No, they're not getting rid of that.
Do you think I see a scenario where one extremely iconic item could go away?
Turkey leg.
Yep. I think there's a scenario where you could see the turkey leg finally leave. I think it's not. I see far fewer people eating it now than I did even 10 years ago. And it's been moved around a lot. Now it's in that one spot where it's been for a while, but it's kind of, I see a scenario where people don't want to walk around with a giant turkey leg anymore.
Because they got better options. Like in the past, it was something that was accepted. Now it's it's kind of gross. It's kind of frowned upon, and there's a lot better options, and there's more theme park options. I think it's held on because it's considered iconic to have it at a theme park or an amusement park. But yeah, I could see that going.
I want to know, tell us in the comments, how many of you actually, every time you go, you're like, I have to get the turkey leg.
No.
That's nuts.
Yeah, I'll have to think of some things. I mean, I think things like the lumpia, I think those are pretty well established and popular, I think.
What about? Go ahead.
No, I was just trying to think of other things. Go ahead.
There are things that are not on the menu.
Oh, wait. Let me just say this while I'm thinking of it. The pulled pork nachos from Captain Cook's.
Yeah. You never know.
They've already messed with the recipe, but I still think they're good. But those can go.
Tonga toast.
That's untouchable, right?
Tonga toast is untouchable.
I think that needs to be on the bingo card because that is one of those things that, I think seems untouchable, but is there a scenario where somebody comes in and says, we're not making this anymore?
We stumbled into this topic. This is a huge topic. So what's going to happen is the thumbnail is going to talk about this topic in the title. Yeah. And people are going to get mad that it took us 45 minutes to get to it. Like we tricked them.
Yeah. I wish I had access to that list we use for March Madness right here, but
we'll find it.
Yeah.
We could pull that up. But I want to create our own because I think that our viewers can help us create this card. I was going to say there's the Brazilian cheesy bread that's at Skipper Canteen.
Sure.
That is amazing. Tom's always like, don't get it. It's not that good. And every time I'm like, I can't get enough of it. But it's not officially on the menu, so they could just whack that anytime.
Yep.
You know?
You know how they're doing that festival booth that has the favorites from
festival favorites?
Wouldn't it be awesome if they brought back all this stuff that we love and had it at some one location at a booth or something? And they're like, cheesy brisket, the spicy chicken and waffle sandwich.
So not festival favorites, But like resort favorites.
Resort favorites, fan favorites.
Dave from Epcot. I've talked to Dave for at a number of events. He's in charge of F&B at Epcot as far as I know.
Yeah.
Or he's definitely has a lot of influence at Epcot. Dave, that's a great idea for Communicore Hall to also have one of those spaces inside do like resort favorites that have disappeared over the years. And we can help you create. We can help you create that menu. I think the cheesy brisket would be right there.
Cheesy
at the top,
brisket.
Right?
Yep.
Yeah, the ham and cheese bocadillo is at the top for me. There's a lot of these things. There's some profit in that for you, right? I think that would be great. That would make me go to Epcot.
That'd be amazing.
And that would forget all the drinking at Epcot that the people complained about in the last episode. I'll go there just to eat the ham and cheese.
And that's a great place to bring back the handwich too.
Can you imagine if they brought back the handwich?
Right.
For people that don't know, they used to have in the 70s, maybe even I don't know, probably through the 80s, and I'm not even sure when the handwich stopped. But the handwich was like, picture an ice cream cone that's a sandwich. Yeah. That's basically what the handwich was.
We used to do a segment occasionally. We still do, I guess, Cooking with Nick.
Yeah.
So we made the handwich, because they have the recipe. Like we made our own cones and everything. Yeah. I think we were at I guess we did that at Tom's apartment like one year. We filmed it there.
Is that the only time Tom's kitchen was ever used to prepare food?
I think so.
It's usually where he sets his DoorDash down.
Yeah, where I did Cooking with Nick. But we made our own cones and everything. It was crazy, but they came out so good. Yeah, that was fun.
I think that's a great idea too.
Yeah.
So we have two great ideas: the bingo card. And then we'll have a prize. What we'll do is we'll actually randomly create bingo cards.
Yeah, send them out.
And then we can send them out virtually or something to people, and then have we'll figure out something. See if Jason can make something so someone doesn't cheat the system.
Yeah.
And we see who can win bingo. You're playing a long game, right?
Right.
They're not going to kill them all tomorrow. At this rate. Maybe. Yeah. I mean, maybe they're heading for the Lumpia tomorrow. Like they just finished gutting Columbia Harbor House and Sleepy Hollow, which are right there by each other.
Yeah.
So now they're going to move to Animal Kingdom, and they're like, I got my eyes on you. What if they go to Nomad and start killing the drinks? What if they kill Jen's Tattoo? What if they kill
Night Monkey, Mustang
Gobi
Coffee?
Manchurian?
Oh no! Don't touch the Gobi. Don't touch the Gobi. You can't. They can't. Bread service.
They kill bread service at Sanaa.
Kill bread service.
Or now it comes with it's it's a non-bread service, but it's all one plain naan and 3 dipping sauces.
Right. What if they knock it down?
They killed the candy bar at Sanaa.
Yeah.
It's gone.
It's possible. And so I'm if they radically change something, say they had one non type of bread and like you said 3 sauces, I'm counting that as a change.
Also, what we could do, this might be even better, is I used to have a friend, and I wasn't good at participating in this, but they had a celebrity death pool.
Yeah.
And so at the beginning of the year, you would get 10 picks.
Yeah.
And the more unlikely it was to happen, the higher point value.
Yep.
And then when the celebrity died, they would award the point. I mean, this is obviously a cruel and morbid game.
It is.
But I mean, we live in a cruel and morbid world.
We do.
And so the higher point values for how likely or unlikely it would be. So what we do is at the beginning of the year or at the beginning of whenever our season begins for this, we establish what the list is. Mm-hmm. And we establish the point values. Hey, they're not getting rid of the ooey, gooey toffee
cake.
Right? But if they did, and you select that's in your 5 or 10 things they're getting rid of,
and
they get rid of it, you get a lot of points.
Yeah.
And then at the end, whoever gets the most points, we give them we give them something. We have a very low budget. Look at the microphones we're using.
We'll send you a bottle of Tiana's hot sauce.
Yeah, something like that, right?
Sure.
They're going to get rid of the hot sauce.
Oh,
what then?
yeah.
Mama Odie's hot sauce.
Mama Odie.
So
I like this. This is good.
This has potential,
yeah.
Nick. We can even set up our own little maybe a section on our website where we can track it. Yeah. So think about that. At the beginning of the year, WDWNT releases their most popular menu item hit list. And you can pick 10 and you get 1 entry. And we have to come up with some way to keep people from entering like 1,000 times, right? Or a bot. For maybe we have to put a paywall of $1. That's probably what makes it illegal. You have to do something. You have to do something. Like it has to be a registered email address that can only enter once.
Right.
And
we'll figure it out.
You have to respond to we do that thing where like a CAPTCHA or whatever, where they're like, select all the pictures that have a motorcycle in it. And you're like, that's a wheel? It looks like that's next to the picture of the motorcycle, but is that part of his tire?
Yeah.
Does that count? You know what I mean? Like you ever do those and it takes you an hour?
Yes.
Right? I hate those.
So my only problem with this is it could be fixed very easily because I could see a chef out there at Disney being like, I'm just to spite them, gone.
No. Don't say that because that was my plan to catch the person who's doing it. Who is like, I would have gotten away with it too if it wasn't for this podcast. Where we're like, you won because you couldn't resist this grand prize that we're giving out, and you're the one killing off all of these things.
It's like a Scooby-Doo trap.
When you went 10 for 10, we knew that it was you.
Oh my goodness. That's great.
This idea has potential. I want to see what the WIGS are saying because I'm going to, oh boy, I have a lot of missed calls.
Oh, I can't believe they changed that spicy chicken waffle. So look at that. Mickey waffle with sweet and spicy maple chicken.
Oh, Wendy Purdy said, I want to open a restaurant just off property called Disappeared from Disney and just serve all the favorite dishes that they ditched. You get sued, but it would be a really good idea.
Corn dog nuggets.
Yeah,
Casey's corn dog nuggets need to be on there. I can't believe this.
Moogle was surprised I work at Rax. Rax roast beef, for people that don't, I think they got bought out by Arby's, right? And I worked at this place, and when I quit, some crazy stuff happened at that place, Nick. I quit when I had to, somebody, a young woman, threw her retainer away. And my boss made me go in the dumpster and dive around looking for a retainer. That's when I was like, you know what? No. This is no, she threw it away. Like, this is no longer my problem.
Yeah.
Once you throw away your retainer, like, maybe if you're like immediately like, oh, it's still in this trash bag.
Right, reach in there.
Maybe I could do that. But once it's in a dumpster, like, that's it. No. I saw there were 3 crazy things that happened at Rex. There was that. There were these 2 guys I knew who were good friends, and they'd always get into it with each other, messing around. And then one guy hit the other. They kept the ketchup in a big bag. All the ketchup's in like a big foil bag, almost like a Capri Sun, but big.
That's
right?
what I'm picturing, yeah.
And he whacks him with it, and it comes out, it breaks, and he's not just covered in ketchup where you see like you can't see his eyes or facial features. He looks like a creature that just crawled out of something red, and he's covered in. Oh my God, it was hilarious. One of those guys also shouted through the speaker at some lady when she ordered and then drove off and like dropped some language that was inappropriate. We're like 15, right?
Sure.
And then the craziest and grossest story, please skip ahead if you don't want to hear a crazy and gross story. It involved me cutting my hand, which was not that gory. But when I cut my hand, I was too young. I was not allowed to operate the meat slicer. Right? They have because it's a roast beef place, the meat slicer, you had to be, I think, 18 or something. I couldn't operate that. I wasn't allowed to touch that. But I was preparing, they decided to start serving sub sandwiches. So I was preparing one of those. I cut myself with a knife. And the sandwich is open, not completed yet, and I bleed on the sandwich. So I run to the first aid station. I go and I wash my cut out and stop bleeding. I go to the first aid station. Somebody helps me put a bandage on it. And I come back to start working. Sandwich is gone. I look in the trash next to me. It's not there. And the only thing I can think of is some idiot served that sandwich to someone. And it's haunted my dreams for years and years since. And I've always wondered if someone ate that sandwich. So if you wonder why Rax roast beef no longer exists, it's probably because stuff like that happened.
That is amazing. Oh no.
That was my first crack at like a real job, other than like having a paper route. But I didn't draw the line at them potentially serving sandwiches with blood in them. I drew the line at crawling into a dumpster to look for someone's retainer.
Yeah.
Also, I knew the girl. She was a friend of mine, kind of. I'd known. And her father was an orthodontist.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, have your dad fix you a new one.
Yeah.
She didn't want to get in trouble.
Yeah.
I'm crawling through the dumpster. Anyway, I don't know why that came up as a. I don't know why that story. I shouldn't tell stories like that.
Probably not.
I have a lot of.
I mean that's amazing that you don't know. Were you afraid to ask your coworkers?
Yeah, well, no, I asked, and I was like, "Did anybody serve that sandwich?" And they're like, "I don't know. It's
Then
like the
where
rush
is
on
it?
a Saturday. We served a million sandwiches. Like you were gone for 20 minutes. Who knows what happened to that sandwich?"
Wow, that's nasty.
I wonder if it was like they're like, "Oh, you guys improved your recipe. It's better than the one I had last week." I have a million awful stories, and I have a pretty good memory of stuff like that. I don't have a good memory of like what I wore yesterday or, stuff like that. But the stories I could tell. If we just had a segment where all I did was tell awful stories, especially Marine Corps stories, just awful, awful stuff that is hilarious but terrifying, and you never know where this podcast is going.
So Gertie's tail has a tarp on it. I hope Gertie's okay. I really hope that more tarp doesn't start to cover more of Gertie. I hope it ends at the tail. I hope they fix whatever's wrong with Gertie's tail.
How do they match the paint? Paint that's been fading over. Like, when's the last time Gertie got a full glow up?
Do you think they have a bucket of paint with Gertie written in? Sharpie.
I'm sure they know the Pantone number of the paint, but how do you match the paint that's been fading over the years?
Oh, I don't know.
I mean, they have smart people working there. Maybe they do, or maybe Gertie gets a full glow up this year.
Ooh, pretty.
Maybe they're just doing the tail, and next they're going to do this half, then they'll do the front half, and then they'll do the neck and
Gertie makeover.
Get the face pretty for Christmas.
Would you like that, Gertie? Would you like a new leaf? Yeah.
And Billy can choose if we edit this out, because some of these conversations go all over the place. Some people like that, some people don't.
See, Gertie doesn't care about the food talk because Gertie has her leaf, his or her. Is it a he or her?
I think Gertie's a girl, but
I think so. It has its leaf, and it's happy. It's like, I don't care about your chicken and waffles. I don't care about your loaded potato barrels. I don't care about your lumpia because I have my leaf, and this leaf is delicious, and I've been chewing on this same leaf for over 30 years, and I am happy. And that's where Gertie is right now. And we should all take a lesson from Gertie and just be happy with the leaves we have.
Can I tell you a Gertie story that's pretty funny?
Sure.
So during Stage 89, we had all those Imagineers here. And one day I was driving Philip Vaughn to the airport. Philip Vaughn
designed the leaf.
No. Philip Vaughn did dinosaurs. He was a dinosaur guy.
Okay.
So he did, for instance, all the dinosaurs on Universe of Energy. He was involved in their design and creation. And then they duplicated a bunch of those and sent them to Tokyo Disneyland, and you can see them in there as a Tokyo Disneyland. But he was also working on Gertie. So they get there one day, and the steel beams are in place to start building the Gertie. And he's like, this steel beam is at the wrong angle. It's supposed to be here, and it's here. Or it's supposed to be here, and it's here. Whatever it was. And they're like, we don't have time. Just work with what you got. So Gertie was built incorrectly.
Wow.
And he had to work with what he had to finish creating him. His team did, yeah.
Okay.
Interesting story, I thought.
So Gertie's neck angle might not be at what he
right. So if Gertie
be.
goes to the chiropractor, he might need to
All right.
TikTok chiropractors. I don't know. There's chiropractors on TikTok that do dogs and stuff like that, but I don't know if there are chiropractors that do dinosaurs because there's not that many dinosaurs running around these days. Alligators, maybe.
Maybe.
Alligator goes to the chiropractor.
Yeah. Well, I mean, dinosaurs are like birds, so.
This is the dumbest show, isn't it? We've top news tonight for being the dumbest show.
Bird chiropractor.
Bird and alligator chiropractor. I'm a chiropractor, but I only service birds and alligators.
Yeah.
Sounds like
it's a heck of a career.
I want to hear what people have to say about the untouchable foods or the foods they think that Disney might start axing.
Hashtag don't touch the leaf.
If you know who is running around butchering these menus,
we're watching.
You let us know. You let us know. Don't speculate, right? We need proof.
Yeah. Don't just throw out names. Give us proof.
I believe there's something evil afoot, though. Mm-hmm. So, unfortunately, we have to leave you on a down note this week because it's pretty depressing news. But 4th of July is coming up, and we have a new game that we're going to be playing with menus to make it take your mind off of things. And hopefully, even though we went on and on endlessly about inane stuff, that we've helped be a diversion for you and help brighten your day a little bit. That's what we aim to do. Sometimes we talk about Disney. Sometimes we talk about bloody civil wars. It's just, you never know what you're going to get.
Speaking of bloody civil wars, I can't wait to watch American Adventure this 4th of July.
I like the Revolutionary War parts of that. My shirt that I always wear on the 4th of July, I don't know if I'll wear it this year. It just says Parliament's colonial policy is both arbitrary and unjust. Because that's the guy's shout. Parliament's colonial policy. And the guy's like, we wouldn't be in this mess if... Never mind. That's the Civil War part. We wouldn't be in this mess if Douglas and his, whatever. I don't know. But, yeah.
I have...
2 brothers.
I have a custom shirt that I wear every 4th of July. Has Sam the Eagle, and he's like giving the patriotic salute. And it's a mock-up of like the Hall of Presidents sign, and it says celebrating all presidents, but mostly Abraham Lincoln. Like kind of a takeoff on Sam the Eagle's quote in Muppet Vision. Yeah. So
I like it.
That's my favorite 4th of July shirt.
I like it. Abraham Lincoln. Seemed like a good dude.
Yeah. I also have
we could use some Abraham Lincolns in our world today.
We could. I also have one with that's Star Wars themed, and it says, "May the 4th of July be with you." And it has the Millennium Falcon shooting through it with red, white, and blue exhaust coming out.
Lee had a shirt that said, it's like a Betsy Ross shirt. It says, "Oh my God, Betsy." Like, look at her butt. Like, that's a good one. Oh, all the clever 4th of July shirts.
Oh, yes.
Thanks for joining us. Let us know in the comments what you think about these menu games, and we'll see you next time on the WDW News Today podcast.
See you real soon.
Ooh.
Gooey toffee cake.
Bye-bye.